Hello everybody, my name is Jason Adair and welcome. We're here at the LAC campus here at Long Beach City College. I am here with, introduce yourself please.
My name's Ben Sampson. I'm an assistant professor in the Visual and Media Arts program. I teach film studies.
I was going to ask you, what are you here at LBCC for?
Yeah, I teach film history, film appreciation, Film 101. This semester I'm teaching film directors. We're doing a fantastic class on the two great Latinx directors, Alfonso Cuarón and Guillermo del Toro, and their journeys from Mexico into Hollywood and out of Hollywood. So I get to talk about all the fun stuff around movies, and I run the film club.
Of course. What's your favorite part about running the clubs and teaching?
To me, I get excited about movies. Movies changed my life. The arts changed my life. I had those professors in high school and college who saw what I was interested in and helped direct me. So to me, it's just the evangelism for cinema. For me, which is the evangelism for the arts. I just want people to get excited and turned on by movies, truthfully. And anytime I'm showing something in class that knocks people out or gets them excited or gets them coming up to me saying I'm thinking about what can I do in movies, that's just that's everything.
So would you say that's the best experience is getting that reaction for the kids to come up to you and you see the, I guess what I'm trying to say is the click, the light in people's eyes and the students' eyes that you get? Is that I guess your favorite experience?
The pure kind of emotional excitement,
yes.
But also when, through the classes we're teaching and helping people to kind of think, we all are raised watching movies.
Of course.
Right? We don't even have to be taught it like we're taught to read.
Yeah. But
we don't always know necessarily how they're doing what they're doing. We're not always literate about the art form. Mm-hmm. And so getting people excited is one thing. Getting people, literate, engaged with how to analyze, dissect, kind of understand the tools of cinema, how they're being used, and maybe how students can use them themselves, that is also super. I'm a nerd. I love that type of stuff, so it makes me happy.
So saying that you know a lot about films.
Sure.
I want you to name your favorite all-time Pixar movie right now.
Pixar film. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All-time movie is just, it's what's your favorite song?
Yeah,
what's your favorite, album?
I had to dissect it.
Pixar films, okay. There's an instinct in me to go for The Incredibles because that film kind of, blew my mind when I was right around the right age for it. And I also, but my heart kind of always goes with Ratatouille. What am I even thinking? They made some good movies once.
They made amazing movies.
Up.
Oh my gosh.
Up.
My heart just jumped right now. Up is the all-time best Pixar movie. I don't know if anyone has to disagree with that.
I'm just running around great titles in my mind and I'm like, what am I talking about? It's Up. Because it's also, to me, something that is absolutely tied into what I teach. When I teach American cinema, I teach Westerns, I teach crime films, because we invented, basically, the Western and the gangster genre. They're all about American culture.
Of course.
But they're also all about the push-pull at the heart of really America, but Western mythology too, between the homestead and the horizon, between where you live and what you do and the community and the dream of adventure that's out there. One of the beautiful and magical things to me about Up is it's about a man who takes his homestead into the horizon and leaves it there. That image is just incredible.
I loved Russell, man. He was my favorite Pixar character, Disney character.
He would have been me when I was a kid.
Pretty much I related to him.
Exactly, and the dog. I was a dog boy.
So this personal question. Have you ever heard of the movie Planes?
Of course, yeah. It's,
really?
It's a Pixar, it's offshoot of Pixar. It was actually Disney label, direct-to-video, kind of related to Cars, but it was its own thing.
Okay. Now, where would you rank that on a scale of 1 to 10? And I need you to be brutally honest.
Oh, it's been a while since I digested Planes, my friend. Direct to video, not exactly Pixar sequel. I mean, I put it in the 5-6 category, but it's been a few years. Is that like a one that's close to your heart? Is it?
No,
Is it
the
like,
very opposite.
Okay.
The very opposite.
3-4.
Okay. Thank you.
When I don't know how someone feels about movies, like 5-6.
Of course. All right, I'll get back on a little bit on subject now.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite? No, I already asked that. I'm so sorry.
No?
What has been your? I guess what I'm trying to say is, we talked about your favorite experience and I guess the favorite moment of things. What has been your least favorite moment of, like, if you could say it on camera, of course, your least favorite experience with the whole thing?
With teaching, I'm not just blowing smoke. There's very little about teaching I don't like. That's why I went into it. I love it. I think the thing I'm always bumping up against is people's kind of preconceived. Everyone loves movies, but they don't always love all movies.
Yeah.
And people pushing past just what you love and challenging themselves. And I don't know. I feel like younger generations are more interested in diving as headlong into their own interests, like as niche and as deep as possible.
Yeah.
But that takes away from kind of having an expansive curiosity about everything that's out there. And I want young people to kind of realize, like, the more stuff you experience, the more you can experience things. Like, the more types of films you watch, the more kinds that you digest and experience, the more you're able to experience more kinds of movies, expand yourself. So coming up against people's kind of resistance to learning about the new is interesting to me, but that's my job.
Of course. I would also say, a lot of people with, I guess my age, I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
So I grew up with it. It's a lot of visual,
Yeah.
People won't, for example, this is only for a few people, but they won't read a book without pictures. I relate it to movies. I feel like a lot of people won't view the movie if they don't like how it looks. I would say that is a terrible representation of how people should watch movies.
I think there's all kinds of different reasons why people kind of throw up resistance to films. Like, I don't want to see a movie with that actor in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a movie if it is about this topic or this subject or anything like that. Or, I don't think that's a genre I'm going to like. You don't know.
Of course.
You don't know what you like and don't like until you. I mean, to me, that is the encapsulation of the college experience. When I was in school, I came from, I did community college, and I came from a working class background. No one was really interested in the arts in my home. It was not something that was emphasized. And college did for me, the community college in particular, did for me what it's supposed to do. It exposed me to everything I didn't know I was passionate about.
Of course.
And you don't know what you're going to love when you're young until you actually jump in those waters and swim around. And maybe you won't love it, but you'll learn from it. And it'll expand you, and you might find, the perfect swimming hole for yourself. You might find the thing that is going to be like a guiding love, passion in your life forever, which I did, several different areas, but definitely cinema. And I wasn't really exposed to it till I got to college. And when I was, it just opened up everything for me. And to me, that's what it should be.
So what advice would you give to someone that's interested right now as a student into film studies?
Take classes.
Of course.
Watch everything. Be interested. Be curious. Be open. To me, people come in with strong opinions already formed. That's fine, but intellectual curiosity is the thing that'll keep people going for the rest of their lives. And if you can honestly be curious about what you don't know and be interested instead of turned off by it, you will, you're gonna move into realms of knowledge of life and of yourself that you never even expected. So for people who are interested in movies, people who are interested in cinema, first of all, be watching stuff.
Yeah.
Be interested. Mm-hmm. Secondly, cultivate an attention span. When you watch stuff at home, and I get it, put your phone in another room.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really watching if you're distracted. It's one of the only reasons I still love to go to the movie theaters is it's a contract.
Yeah.
We're here for the experience. So be curious, watch everything, and actually watch it. And if you love it, it'll guide you.
That's awesome. Before we wrap things up, I'm going to ask one of the more basic questions
Sure.
to interviews. Who or what inspires you the most to do what you do today?
Who or what inspires me the most? What inspires me is having taught now for 6 years. I mean, this is my first year at LBCC, and I love it, and I'm so glad to have a home. But now that I've been teaching for a while, when I see students, when I get those calls from students who are now at like a 4-year somewhere, I have a student who emailed me the other day, she's at UC Berkeley. I have a student who's at Cal State Northridge. I have a student who's at USC. They're all doing film studies. They're all passionate about it. They were all turned on to it through my class or classes like mine. That keeps me going. That keeps inspiring me. The fact that young people are still finding out about how cool and how amazing the arts are. I mean, that's all I want. That's honestly all I want.
That's awesome. I know you're going to get it one day. I know people are going to be inspired by you. I can already get that energy. I like it. I like it. You're welcome. Thank you so much for your time here. I appreciate you so much. It's been amazing talking to you.
Yeah.
We are going to now cut to some music inside the auditorium here inside the K building at Long Beach City College. LAC, sorry, excuse me. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. I am back, Jason Adair again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the lovely music right behind us here in the K building, the auditorium at Long Beach City College. Now, I'm joined with, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
My name is Edward Rentasso. We'll also be doing interviews as well, so you don't have to adjust the tone. We're both here.
Of course. I'm sure you've seen both of our faces a few times here on this YouTube channel. But how you doing, man? How's your day going?
Hey, good, man. Ready to do this, you know?
Of course.
I happened to walk by and I just saw everything right now. I got to hear the great music too right now too, so, you know.
Yeah, you know, it was a beautiful day, you know. We took a break, finished up this first interview, and I looked to our right. I saw you, called you over, gave you a big hug, sat you down for an interview. So, you know, tell the people what we do here for radio and television.
So as many of you know, we're the students of the Art TV department here at Long Beach City College. Most of the courses are being taken currently at the PCC campus. For those of you that want to know, the G building here is currently being remodeled, so all classes will be taken at the Pacific Coast campus. And right now we're students of RTV 13 to RTV 15, which is what we're doing right now, live streaming.
How many experiences have you had since, you know, because I do know this is your second time around here at Long Beach City. Compared to the first and second, how many experiences combined have you gotten from radio and television?
I want to say I had about two to 3 years. I first started here in 2005 with RTV 15. We also did the Viking football games at Vet Stadium, but it was different back then. It was mostly on TV, you know, cable channels.
Of course.
So since from 05 to then, it's just different now. You know, 4K cameras, technology. We're live streaming now, so it's very different from what we did before back then, which is very, very different.
No beautiful 4K cameras like we have here today.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Very
new. The radio and television programs always want to keep up to date, up with technologies and stuff like that. I wanted to ask you, comparing the two again, what is, I think, your favorite switch? As in, you know, in 2005, you said, how different was it? You know, would you rather be back in 2005 or how it is now?
You know, actually, I like it right now.
Okay.
Because now, you know, with technology, streaming is popular now. We can actually broadcast our events live, which is right now we are. By the way, we do want to say thanks for joining us here on YouTube. You know, back then in 05, it was mostly we had the games were taped.
Of course.
So it was mostly, you know, we taped the games and then they are shown on cable later on in the week. So it was different from back then because we just had the games were taped. Now it's, you know, when they play live, we're here live as, you know, we were here for football, for basketball, We were at the Grand Prix a couple weeks ago. We had our CTE event at the PCC campus last week, which we actually streamed live. So I like, what we do now because streaming is more popular. You know, I feel like it's a little more simpler than, back then, taping TV. And, we're both wrestling fans. So, Monday Night Raw used to be taped, and then WCW gave their results, so they could stay there, but that didn't work out.
So what's been your favorite overall experience with the radio and television program? What has been your favorite class?
Sportscasting. I mean, I just love it. I grew up into the sport. I grew up with the legendary broadcasters back in the day. We had Al Michaels, who's still here. The late John Madden, the great Pat Summerall. I grew up with those casters and, Marv Albert from the NBA. So there's a lot of people that I grew up in the times. Even Jim Ross from wrestling, Michael Cole, Joey Styles, who actually did his pay-per-views by himself.
Really?
He had no commentary. And then, how could we forget the great Vince Scully? Every time you see the Dodgers, you always hear that voice. It's time for Dodger baseball. That is how he sounded.
With the program, what do you plan on doing with it?
Well, this is my last semester here at LBCC. I will be graduating in the spring. I'll be in the commencement ceremony. I'm going for my sportscasting certificate. It's one of the new programs that was introduced about a couple years ago before COVID. So it's very exciting for me and very kind of hurting too, because I love doing things like this, and it's like once you graduate, it's like you're not gonna do this no more. You gotta move on to other things. So, my goal is to continue working towards getting my dream job, which is to be a sportscaster for the NFL on Fox. I want to work for Fox Sports.
I've been right next to you working, man. I know you how bad you want it, and I know you can do it. This is also my last year, wrapping things up this summer with math, of course. But this is it for me. This is my next chapter. I wanted to ask you. So you want to do stuff involved with sports broadcasting?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about podcast making or sports podcasts, maybe all around that sort of thing?
Well, now that you mention it, we do have courses that help you with that. We have some courses here at the college that you could take in radio production. You could be a DJ, host. You can have your own sports talk show like I want to do, or you can even do podcasts. That's also offered here through the college. But to answer your question, I really I like to do something like that and planning to. I actually have my own talk show on YouTube, sports talk, of course with me. We're in the middle of our first season. We have about 6 episodes taped already and still working on our next episode, which just a preview, we're just going to talk about the NBA playoffs, with the Lakers, Dodgers, Angels, and then the NFL draft that just happened. What team had the best pick, and can the Rams make the playoffs? So that's one of the things we talk about on our show.
Of course. Now, this question is going to be a little bit difficult to ask because I asked everyone I interview.
Yeah.
If you could say it on camera, what has been your least favorite experience about radio and television?
That's a tough one. I should have asked you that, I don't know. I mean,
it could be me. That could be your least favorite, It could be something light.
Well, I mean, the least favorite right now is possibly you sitting in my chair. You're in my spot.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So time-wise, you say you would want more time on the field.
Yeah, I mean, doing like the football games I enjoyed, the basketball games I enjoyed.
Okay.
I was actually looking forward to that mini Grand Prix we're going to do here on campus, but they weren't able to do it this year. So maybe, hopefully, there's a way I could, work that event next year, Yeah. Because I would like to. I've seen it before. It's actually fun, too.
This is also a question, of course, before we wrap things up, I do want to ask a basic question because I've been curious myself.
Yeah.
Who or what inspires you to do what you do today, to make you keep going?
Well, it's funny. When the economy broke down in 2008, we all had to do different things, and like my dream job was put on hold. And I think it was a couple years ago, I was thinking about doing this as a hobby, just free time, So I remember I had Bob Hirsch's number, Professor Hirsch's number, so I gave him a call and I was like, hey, I was wondering if I could work some football games, just to do it for fun. And then he went over with me the curriculum that the new sports casting certificate program actually was put in place before COVID. So he looked through my transcripts and he said, you've taken a lot of the courses. Why not come back and finish it? And he told me about some courses like RTV8, which, we do production, we work with, learn how to work with cameras and the control rooms. So I took that class last semester, and we were able to call football games because our TV-15 wasn't there because there wasn't enough students. So that was one of the favorite things, was coming back to do this. And I remember the first game we did. It was actually, it felt like bam. I was right at home.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I owe it to him. I owe it to Professor Bob Hurst, because he kind of convinced me to finish the job. You just got a few courses left, and now we're near the finish line.
I'm very glad you came back, because I'll be honest, you made sports production a lot more, a better experience for me. I enjoyed having you as a partner. Luckily, we're getting out of here during the summer, but
I enjoyed the games we worked together, and the fact that we're in some classes together too, and talk about other things. But I mean, it's really been a pleasure coming back to redo something that I really love, and this is what I really love and I really want to do. It's my hobby. It's me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for joining me, Edward. I'm sure this isn't the first time or the last time we're going to be talking here today. But for now, we're going to cut to some music over in the art building. Stick with us for a good time.
All right, welcome back. We are here now with Gabriel, who is in charge of dual enrollment. Gabriel, how are you doing today?
Doing good, good.
Explain more about the dual enrollment program we have here.
Yeah, of course. So right now I'm currently a college intern at Browning High School, and we're offering students dual enrollment courses. And the idea of dual enrollment courses is for them to take college courses from freshman to senior year, and they're able to actually get associates in hospitality or in culinary. So the hope is to get them a jump start through their college years, and they'll be able to kind of just decide their major or whatnot, and just start off as a junior pretty much once they transferred out. So it's just kind of getting them, because sometimes students kind of like once they get out of high school and they have to figure out the whole college experience. At least this way they're just jumping right through it, and they have the support through, say, an intern like myself or other counselors, and they're getting all the support they need.
Now, you say you're an intern, and how many years have you been doing this program?
Yeah, so I came in December, so at the end of their previous semester.
Okay.
And this is my first full semester being here, and it's definitely an interesting thing to see high school students taking college courses. I know for my own self, I've never really been one back in high school to do that much work, but I definitely, switched that all around being going through my undergrad. But
that's awesome.
But yeah.
Now, as a personal level, what basically pushed you into doing this program? What was it like? Like the mission of doing this?
Yeah, so I actually didn't know too much about this program in general. I did, since I go to Cal State Dominguez Hills, they have a high school there that does dual enrollment. So I heard a little bit about it, but a buddy told me about it. I looked at the description, and I'm heading towards trying to be academic advisor in higher education.
Oh, that's nice.
So I thought this would be a good pick to kind of get some form of experience in dual enrollment and kind of get a feel of how this program works. And I found it very interesting to see, students, freshmen or even middle school students taking college courses like that. So I'm very curious to see how this kind of goes towards the future. And for the first semester, what I've been hearing, they had an 85% success rate.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really neat to kind of see the students kind of pull together and they really get the help that they deserve. So I'm hoping, this semester and the next semester on, I'm able to support them through all of that.
Now, as far as the best part of the program, what would you say the best successful part of it has been? Is it the percentage rate of success, or just more of the amount of students you've been able to meet and discuss what they want to do between that level and college?
Yeah, I would say definitely the experience of them going through the courses themselves, because they're learning how to pretty much, be an adult at times, There's that high school part of it where, they're doing their sports, they're doing the leisure times, and then they come to school and then they're there to kind of just, do what they need to do their homework, that, kind of just pull together. And if they need any help, there's been plenty of students that go and ask me, and I'll support them. I'll have to, learn the material sometimes, but, I'm always, it's not nothing, I can't handle for sure, but yeah.
So it's more of a learning procedure for them, but also for you because you're
Yeah.
learning more things that you didn't learn at the time. But what will you say like the challenging thing is as far as like trying to learn like a new subject or something that you're trying to help a student with?
Definitely the most challenging thing is because I'm also in undergrad too, so I have 5 other classes, so it's like an extra class sometimes. But definitely, it's nothing I for sure like I feel very confident in. Like I'll read the lecture, I'll read the course assignment. Like okay, like I know where where the answers are. I just got to talk to them, see if they point them towards the right direction, and then they'll kind of just put it together. Like okay, like this is the correct answer, and they'll write it out, and then we'll just talk about it from there.
What is like the most difficult subject that you had to learn like that was new to you? Like you're learning it for the first time.
For sure, right now, because I'm doing like a communications class and then an acting class. So there's nothing been like, I would say maybe comms, because it's just communication. But when I was reading the course material, I was like, okay, like, this is very like, common within me. Like I kind of get an idea of how everything flows and how like it's just a lot more key terms.
Yeah.
So like pay attention to key terms. So I'll print out like little notes and stuff like that for them to use templates. It's like, all right, write down those key terms because they're probably gonna be on the quiz and everything. So definitely that's probably the hardest class. But the TART 1 class, which is through acting,
Yes.
I found to be the most entertaining for sure. I love seeing the students perform and doing their monologues. Like today they had to do their own personal monologues and they're getting scripts from movies and stuff like that. And once one of the students performed, I was like, I have to know what movie that is because that was a very interesting monologue. You just, you got me really into it. So it's definitely a really cool experience.
Are the monologues like familiar to what you have seen in movies before, or is this like more of like you're like, wow, this is pretty amazing. I never heard this before.
Definitely straight from movies. That some movies I've never heard. It was like some were like straight war movies and like veterans, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, you've seen this movie? They're like, no. I have no idea what this is, but they'll kind of just go and try to make something up as they go, and I think it's a real neat creative side of the TART 1 class.
I heard that the writers are on strike right now. You think maybe it's possible the students can maybe volunteer to create the monologues to keep the movies going or anything like that?
For them to like go on strike with them too,
or just take their places, just be like, what, we're gonna hire these students because they're the future. All you guys get out.
We'll definitely have to teach them how to protest and everything, because I know sometimes they get swamped on homework. But yeah, so.
But hey, if they take over, I'll be like, hey, I'll hire those guys to make those movies anytime. Forget the other people. Now, going back to the program, we're nearing the end of the school year.
Yes.
What are like the students like emotional feeling right now as we get to this final stretch, or like I guess you could say a marathon, but the semester ending?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of mixed feelings for sure. I know some are I can tell some are burnt out, because it is college courses and it is, high school too. So I'm definitely trying to figure ways to help them not feel as burnt out as they can be. But definitely just trying to make it a lot easier for them through like little things like printing out the study guides for them so they don't have to worry about it, or giving them the notes they may need, or little stuff like that, or just kind of like walking them through the whole homework process. So that way they don't have to worry so much about it by doing it at their house or something. So definitely just doing my best to kind of just alleviate more of like that extra layer of stress. And I hope, once finals come and they go through the exams and everything, they just get a real big, relief, and they feel, a sense of accomplishment. So.
Now, as far as test taking goes, do you ever have to deal with, let's say, because I'm pretty sure a lot of students don't like to take tests. And I can probably be one of those that say, I don't like tests, but have you ever had to deal with a situation like that where, test taking like needed to be worked on, or like how do you speak to a student when they have like that test anxiety? It's like, oh man, especially when there's points involved, like 1/5 of a grade. Yeah,
so for sure, it's similar to just like assignments too, because they can feel that stress too, or with writing papers too. Like someone straight, I just don't want to write this. I don't want to write about this paper or anything. And some of the things I would say is like, I would like to kind of focus on what they have, in the future. And some of them do have like that set priority in the future. And I kind of just reassure them, like, look, like sometimes you kind of have to just push through and just know, like, that's going to be at the end, in your future. And sometimes you have to just go over that little hurdle so that way you could get there.
If I had that conversation years back, maybe I probably would have done better on some tests, but that's a long time ago though. But now, have you, let's see, let's go to this part. How about a student that's watching this right now? They're in maybe high school, maybe 10th, 11th grade, and they're getting ready to go to that senior year. And let's face it, at that time is when you guys start making those decisions, like what do you want to do after?
Yeah.
What message would you like to tell that, explain to the viewers right now that that they're in that situation, like, hey, I'm gonna go to 12th grade, I don't know what I'm gonna do after. The world's out there, I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, like that's why I think there's plenty of people you could go and just talk to about that kind of stuff. And they're always gonna be there to kind of like help them feel a sense of like, okay, there's something to work towards, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times students just get lost in that process, and when you just have yourself, there's not much to kind of go around at times until you kind of have the confidence within yourself to be like, oh no, I could figure these things out.
Yeah.
But until then, that's where we have people like the interns, the counselors, the staff that's there at Long Beach to kind of go and support those students in that need. And majority of the time, it's just them kind of just helping them figure out what their passion is, right? And once they find their passion, it just snowballs over.
Now let's. How about a student? Let's say they have that pride, or they have that mentality, like, you know what, I could do it on my own. I don't need help. I got this. I could do it all. I don't need help. Have you ever dealt with that before? And like, if you did, what was like the breaking point to where you were able to convince them, it's okay to ask for help. It's totally normal. It's totally fine.
So far, I haven't, but that's actually something I do. So from my own experience, actually, that was one of the biggest things going to Dominguez. Like, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was working towards, and I knew what classes I had to take. I didn't really ask for help as much, but there's times I did feel like I was just doing everything on my own, and there was just that uncertainty at times. So when I joined a program through Trio SSS that they have at the school, I actually went to go talk to the counselors there, and I asked a few questions, kind of just to alleviate that, that stress of like, okay, I don't have to look up everything myself every single time. But yeah, that's something I kind of just had to go through, and just once it was kind of just too much, I was like, okay, I need to reevaluate some things and just talk to someone, see how I could get some support.
Now with the semester ending, are you looking forward to like that summer break? Do you have anything planned coming up or anything like that?
Oh man, so I did have a break coming up, but things just happened. Things just happened. I'm also, I'm planning on going through grad school, and I just got accepted to Northridge.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. And I'm very excited to do it. I just didn't realize I had to have set prerequisite courses, and I didn't have those prerequisite courses.
Oh.
So I'm definitely going to have to go through summer school. So I'm going to have not really too much of a break, but I'll have a good month. So I'll take what I get. I'm definitely used to the grind, so I'll just keep going, keep pushing through.
Don't you love when you find that out the last minute? Like, oh, wait a minute, I'll say, oh, wait, I have
Yeah,
to do this.
I was a little heartbroken. I was like, oh man, like all I was gonna do is just make some money, go on vacation. But extra school, like at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, like I know what I'm working towards, so that's what pushes me through it.
That's awesome. And if anyone wants information on the program, where would they go to?
Definitely go through Long Beach City College in early college enrollment, through the dual enrollment processes. If you call the office, or if you go to outreaches, if anything, they will help you out and point to the right direction. There's definitely a lot of information through, Browning dual enrollment, through ECPP dual enrollment, and then individual dual enrollment as well. So they have plenty of options for students to kind of, through K through 12, to take advantage of.
Now, I know you're going to be taking summer courses in the summertime. Is there any summer events coming up that the students should be aware that they can attend if they have more questions or anything? Yes.
So we actually do have a lot of different programs. So like one is like through cybersecurity, one's through art, and they're like little week courses. I don't have the specifics yet, but I do have a flyer on that kind of information for sure. But they also do have internships too. I know one of our lead directors for Pam has been working on that like crazy, trying to give opportunities for students to get jobs as internships over the summer if they would like to. They even go as far as like being 14, you could go and get a job if you like, or mostly a lot of them are 18 and over. But it just depends. Like even for the seniors that are graduating right now, they have the options too.
That's awesome.
excuse me, but they definitely do have trying to provide a lot of resources for these students. We just gotta encourage them, like, hey, like, this is what you have, like, you know, just have those conversations. That's definitely something.
Exactly, it's just like that the Raider logo is its commitment to excellence. So I guess we
Yeah.
could use that as far as an example for students to like kind of get in the game.
Yeah.
But that's a very interesting program, and for more information on that, you can go on to our website, lbcc.edu, under the dual enrollment program. This is Gabriel here. Thanks for being here with us today.
thanks so
Appreciate it
much.
so much. In the moment we'll be back, but for now, we're going to go ahead and take you over to the art gallery for a special peek. All right, so for now, we're going to go ahead and take you to a special look at a dance rehearsal that we have going on here at the campus. A dance rehearsal you got to see here, and our next guest on the program is Art. Art is actually a counselor here at Long Beach City College. Art, good to see you today.
Hey, nice to meet
so
you.
So a little bit about yourself.
Right, so I graduated high school from Narbonne High, and I had to go to summer school. I didn't graduate in time, and went to the Air Force. And I was on call for Desert Storm, and you know, when I got out of the Air Force, I decided to go to college. Defaulted to business. Took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. I didn't really have any mentors or any good role models or anything like that, so it took me a while. Eventually, I ended up transferring out to Cal State Dominguez Hills for a bachelor's in sociology, because I was living in San Pedro at the time, you know, raising a family. And then, I got a 3.5 GPA there, because I had really made a mental switch in my head from,
Yes.
you know, trying to be a good student, you know. But it took me a while to learn how to do that. And then I went on to do my master's in counseling at Cal State Dominguez too.
Now, you're telling me off camera that you were called to the Air Force. You say you didn't get called around the time when we were at war, right? It was just more of a...
No, we were at war during, it was during Desert Storm. And so I was put on standby that I might have to go overseas. And so I was a contracting specialist, you know, purchasing supplies, services, repairs, anything you could buy to run a little town, I would buy. Put contracts, purchase orders, all that stuff together. And they were like, if we send you overseas, we're gonna have to give you a gun and a grip of cash to buy things. So I was like, what? I don't wanna go.
So how long were you there as a standby in case they needed you?
For almost 3 years, yeah.
And what was like one of the challenging things you had to do when you were overseas in another country, in another time zone?
If I did go,
Yeah.
it would be just, I was like 18, 19, 20 at the time. And so I was barely had been away from home ever. But to have that much stress of the job, doing $1 million contracts and stuff,
Yeah.
and then being told that I might go overseas to a foreign country, you know, there was wartime, it was very traumatic. Very traumatic.
I'm pretty sure it'll be traumatic anytime when they tell you, hey, you're gonna go overseas, you're gonna be on standby because we might need you at a certain time. Now, you've been a counselor here at Long Beach City College. How long have you been at the school as a counselor?
For about 2 years now.
And what would you say like one of the best things about being a counselor is here at Long Beach City College?
You know, it's very fulfilling to be able to help students fulfill their dreams and their goals. And as a counselor, you know, I like to incorporate those obstacles that I had, you know, into my counseling and my teaching classes. It lets the students know that there's somebody that cares for them, and there's somebody that's looking out for them and provides them a transformative experience. Because I've been there,
Yeah.
and I can speak from experience, you know.
I think we've all been there as far as making choices or decisions on what we want to do. Now, Gabriel was our last interview prior to meeting you, and he was with the dual enrollment. And are you also affiliated with them as well?
Yes, right now I'm teaching 2 classes for the Early College Initiative, the dual enrollment. One's at Powell High School, and one's at Reed High School.
Now, does the program plan to expand into other schools or any?
Yes, the program is continuously growing, and they're just making great relationships with all the different high schools, and so we're just all really excited about that. I'm excited to be counseling and teaching for that early college initiative.
Now, Gabriel mentioned there's been a success, 85% so far, I believe, this semester. What would you say will be the key factor or to the reason of that success? Is it from meeting more students, or is it because it's expanding to different schools, like you had mentioned?
You know, I think it goes beyond just expanding. I think it goes really with the culture of the campus, in that we're just very, student-centered, and we're very positive on our outlook of, like I said, being able to provide transformative experiences for our students. And, we just really care. I mean, this is one of the, I've been at a lot of different schools, and this is like the only school that I've been at that we really are very proactive in reaching out and making sure that students have what they need, the tools that they need, and just, providing the classroom instruction, providing the counseling and the wraparound services, the support that they need. And I'm very proud to be part of this campus and being able to provide that, and I'm proud of the school as well for what they provide.
Now, as a counselor, what would you say the challenges have been so far, 3 years after COVID came? Because we know that everything changed when that came, and things are starting to get back to normal a little bit. But how do you feel? Like, is there more things that need to be improved as far as convincing students to come back to in-person learning, or is this something that you're working with those that want to stay long distance learning?
Mm-hmm. I think just being able to consistently provide those opportunities in different ways, whether students want to be on campus, if they want to do it remotely, or they want to do like a hybrid, a little bit of both, and just continue to do that until they finally decide to start coming back. Because it isn't that the college isn't trying, it's just that COVID really took the wind out of people's sails, from education, not only just education, but like work as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Some people don't want to go back to work. They've had enough time to rethink their lives and say, I don't really want to do that. But we continue to put on events like today, and we keep pushing forward, just consistency and being out there and doing the outreach, and just being here and saying, we want you to come back. We just keep doing that, and slowly but surely it'll start happening. But we still are feeling the effects of COVID for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that we all have. It's been maybe about a year or two since things started kind of getting back to normal. But what would you say the most difficult challenge is as a counselor, hearing a student say, I'm not sure if I can continue doing this, or I thought about it, I don't think this is for me. Have you ever had any of those students that say, they just want to kind of throw in the towel and just give up?
Oh, definitely. I have quite a few conversations like that with students. They talk about, I want to take time off, or I messed up my my classes because they had to withdraw because they weren't familiar.
Yeah, it was something new to them.
It's something new to them. They weren't familiar with the online setup and stuff like that, and they're still trying to recover from that. And we've made a lot of opportunities for them to do like excuse withdrawal if it was COVID related issues.
Yes.
So we reached out that way, but that's the obstacles still, and it's just convincing them to that may have sidetracked you for a little bit, but if you keep if you let time go by, and time's not going to stop for anybody.
It's not.
You want to have something to look back on and say, hey, I've accomplished something. So whether that's one class, 2 classes, we'd like them to be full time, but if they could just take a couple classes even. Sometimes you don't want to overwhelm somebody.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if you've ever gone to the gym and say hey, I got to do this at the gym, do this at the gym, do this at the gym, and then you end up not going because you got overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's times where I'm a gym person too, so there's times where I want to go. I want to do it's chest day, and when I'm done with that, I'm like, okay, maybe I want to do a little bit of my legs, but then it's what, I can't do it, or it's just it's just too much.
Yeah.
So I understand that for
yes.
I've been there too.
So if I ever have those conversations with students that they just totally want to check out, or they kind of want to come see us, but then they say but I don't really want to go full time. Then I'm just let's take a class in your major. Let's take a general ed that might be something that you have interest in, might be passionate about. And that could be a million things, right? It could be
Yeah.
art, it could be drawing and painting, it could be literature class, and so
Yes.
on. But just try to get them interested, and then I know once they start coming, they're gonna want to take more classes.
It's more like a hobby. You're like doing something what they love as well.
Yeah.
Because for me, I came back last semester, and it was at first it was a little bit weird because it was like, man, I've been at home all day, or because of work from home, and we couldn't go nowhere. And when I first stepped in class, I was nervous at first, but then as time went on, it's like, you know what, I've done this before. It doesn't feel. I mean, it may not feel the same, but it's like I'm used to this environment. So I mean, I take your point where it's like, yeah, it knocked us down, but eventually you have to get back up. And you mentioned before, or off camera, you were the first person in your family to graduate.
Yes. Yes, actually, my dad didn't complete much of school at all. So, it kind of started there. And then I have two older brothers, and I think one got an AA and the other one didn't. And then so I was the last child in the family, and I was the first one to get a bachelor's, and I was the first one to get a master's.
Do you ever look back and see that accomplishment? It's like, wow, I did it. And then how do you use your experience to a student that's struggling, that they're close, they're just right there, but they have like that issue with their confidence, like I don't know if I could do it, or it's too hard, or like right now we're in the final stretch of the semester. How can you use your experience at graduating in your family to be the first one to a student that's kind of struggling right now, saying, I don't know if I could pass this semester?
Yeah, I tend to talk to students about their strengths and their accomplishments, and say like, well, you graduated high school.
Yes.
You got a first job.
Yeah.
You've taken care of your family. We got through COVID. It's like, so don't look at finishing up your associate degree and your transfer as a mountain that's too high to climb. It's really just a speed bump in comparison to what you've already accomplished in life. And if I can do it, and I said I wasn't that good of a student at first, but I was able to make that change, and I was able to be that catalyst, in my family. So my daughter, she's transferring this year. Mm-hmm. She's a lot further off than I was. I think, me going to school definitely was part of that. Mm-hmm. So I kind of stopped that school being elusive in my family. Mm-hmm. So I feel good about that. And I feel good about being able to help students get through those speed bumps, those obstacles, and give them a different perspective to look at. I talk to a lot of students often about like energy. So whenever we come up with like confrontations or situations in life, there's energy that's created, like energy between you and I talking right now.
Absolutely.
So with COVID or obstacles, you don't want to have this negative energy and it keeps you down. It stops you from doing something. Or if you're already down and out, it kicks you when you're down. You want to use this energy and use it in a positive way to encourage yourself, to motivate yourself, and to say, hey, let's get going. I want to make a change in my life. I want to continue my education.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, for me, I like to use football as a mentality to like kind of get through it. It's like you're in the Super Bowl. It's like 2 minutes left. You got to go down like 90 yards to get the winning score. Let's face it. I'm not Patrick Mahomes. I'm not part of Kansas City, which I'm not a big fan of. But that's how I like to use. It's like, this is the big game. This is where the stars are made of, and you have to go and punch it in for that end zone to get that win.
Sure.
That's how I use it for me. Especially right now with a few weeks left. For me, my mentality is fourth quarter. That's all I say to myself. Fourth quarter. You got to give it all you in that fourth quarter, because it's either two things are going to happen. You're either going to hold that trophy and you're going to celebrate the confetti, or you're just going to have to go off the field, your head down, and be like, you have to wait till next year to get another chance. And it's hard to go back after 1 year,
Yeah. No, I use that same logic too. It just depends on the student that I have in front of me and what I know is going to work with them, because everybody's different. But the one I told you about the energy, I use that one more.
Yes.
Because that one tends to work with a larger group of students. But there's different ways to talk with different people, because not everyone has the same situation and not everyone has the same timeline. Because oftentimes I get students will be like, well, my friend over there is already transferring and my other friends already has a bachelor's.
They're trying to compare themselves.
Yeah, and I was like, don't do that, because you compare yourself with other people. It's like your timeline is just for you. your timeline, and it doesn't. And you know, everyone's life is different. You have different situations, you know, and so I talk to them that way, because it is when they compare themselves and they feel like they're totally being left behind. Sometimes they tend to want to check out or feel frustrated, you know.
I've actually had that before too. But like, do you always tell them, like, you know, like, don't compare yourself to them, because this student's gonna go that road, he's gonna go that road. They're going to a different path, but like, you can't compare because you're gonna go on another one.
Yeah, all the time. Not only that, but you know, sometimes they have like for me, like they didn't have education in their family, so it might take them a little longer. They don't know the steps. Sometimes they're working full time because they have to take care of, they're on their own now and they have to take care of themselves, or they have to take care of a family. So they're on a completely different timeline. So never compare yourself with other people and beat yourself up over it.
You know, to be honest, I'm actually working full-time and I'm a full-time student this semester, so it's been challenging, but at the same time, it's more of a challenge. It's been actually fun for me. But on a scale of 1 to 10, on that conversation about comparing one student to another, like when you have those conversations, what's the most, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the most you've always had to say, like, don't compare yourself?
How many times?
Yeah, between 1 to 10, like on a scale.
I would probably say like 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, it's a pretty high number. The students are always comparing themselves with other people.
Now we're coming to the end of the semester. We know graduations on the for high schoolers is coming. Some of them, a lot of them will be here next semester. What do you want to tell to the students that are watching online right now that don't know what they want to do? Either they want to come here or, you know, try something. Like, what would you want? What's your message to them right now?
I mean, I would really like them to come here, and you know, there's a lot of different general ed classes that you could take without having to, you know, you would want to declare a major, but you don't have to. It's not necessarily written in stone, right? So you don't have to have that kind of stress on you. You could do about 1 year's worth of general eds, and you could take the different classes in different areas and kind of find out what might jive with you. And also have really good relationships with your instructors and with your counselors, because they can really help you, give you ideas and maybe tell you things that you didn't know about as far as like majors and career choices.
Yeah.
And see our career center, because that would really, really help. And once you know what it is that you want to do, we have something, you know, we can do an ed plan and we can help you with that, so you can get that degree and you can get that transfer. And not just that, but I think the most important thing is you could be 100%, know 100% of what you're trying to accomplish, and be the person that you were meant to be. Because when you don't know what you're meant to be, because you're throwing darts,
yes, I
at a
think
wall,
a lot of us been there before.
Yeah, then you end up not liking the career choice that you did, or you don't like the classes that you're in, because there's a disconnect. But when everything aligns, because you had these relationships and you had the mentors and you had the counselors and you took the counseling orientation and the career exploration and counseling classes,
Yes.
the college success classes, those things definitely help, and you are better off for it, because we'll give you the tools that you need to make those choices and know what your major might be.
Yes.
Because when you're in the classroom and you know what you're studying and you know that it's in the direction that you want to go, you're going to have a light bulb going off on top of your head, and you're going to love to go to school, and then you're going to get a career that you love to do.
Now, Gabriel mentioned that there's events for the dual enrollment coming up in the summertime. Is there anything coming up for counseling for students coming up in the summer by any chance?
Oh, we always have events, you know, going on. So they could just check with the Early College Initiative department, and they'll give them an email of all the different events that will be coming up.
For those that are enrolling in for summer session, when will summer enrollment begin for registration?
You know, I don't have that exact date on me right now, but if they go to our website, the lbcc.edu, and then go to admissions at the very top, and then go to on the admissions page, on the bottom right, it says registration dates. It'll give all that exact information and when to register for summer and fall, upcoming fall.
That's excellent too. And then also, if you are interested in enrolling in Long Beach City College, you can reach our website, lbcc.edu. You can go under admissions. You can also schedule a counseling appointment to go through your education plan. Remember, you don't have to do it by yourself. We have counselors like Art here. They will help you get through to what you need to do, whether it's an AA or transfer to a four-year school. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to do it by yourself. We do have counselors here, and they will help you do whatever you need to do. Art, thank you so much for the information, and thank you so much for being here with us today. We're going to go ahead and intermission here, and then we'll be back for more after this.
All right.
And welcome back. We are now joined by Pat, who is in charge of the jazz here at Long Beach City College. Pat, how you doing today?
Doing all right, everyone.
Good. Just tell us a little bit about what's going on this week.
Absolutely. Right now, you might hear in the back, the K building, we have a jazz trio playing as part of this Meet the Arts event. And, you know, we just have groups playing all over tonight. So that's a subset of a small jazz combo. But we actually have 6 groups playing tonight at D Piazza's, all back-to-back, and then an open jam session. And that's the club that's just down the street on Anaheim and PCH.
Oh, that's good. So they've been practicing for this event for a long time, have they?
About a month or so, because we have a monthly residence down there.
And then also, what time does the event start here tonight?
Oh yeah, it's going to be 7 to 10 o'clock at D Piazza's, and from 7 to 9, those 6 groups will perform back-to-back sets, and then from 9 to 10 will be kind of an open jam session where the students and then whoever is in the room can, like, you know, play on some jazz
And do you
jams.
need to purchase like a ticket to get into these events?
Nope, it is 100% free, and it's all ages because it's technically a restaurant.
Oh, that's awesome. And have you been performing there before, or this is the first time?
We've actually, for the last, I want to say, 2 years at D Piazza's, that's been our kind of like regular spot for jazz combo nights. So we have like a monthly spot there. Currently, it's just first Thursdays. So first Thursday of the month, different LBCC groups will perform down there. And it works out really well for me because I teach the jazz combo class. We have right now 6 groups, and they're basically kind of on rotation who takes that gig. And yeah, it's kind of like some real world experience in an actual like music setting where you'd hear live jazz.
Now, I saw something going on this weekend, I believe. Are the jazz department also going to be performing here as well this coming Saturday night?
This Saturday, I don't, but you know, I'm clearly only going one day at a time. But I don't think we have a jazz concert here this Saturday night, to my knowledge. Where did you hear this?
Oh, I saw a flyer on my way over.
Oh, now you're making me like worry. What's coming this weekend? I don't know. I'm just trying to get through tonight first.
But what's important tonight? Like, how much does it mean to the department tonight? You know?
I think it means a lot to the students, especially because we do have formal performances that happen here in the auditorium. But I think for the students, it's a lot more fun to play like an actual like bar gig, that kind of scene. Because again, after doing this for a couple semesters, they graduate, they move on, they do their own thing, but they start to form their own bands, and like for most of them, I would say, that are in our jazz program, this is their first like actual playing like an out real venue that's not like a school, safety school kind of like situation.
Yeah. Now, really quick, have you heard from any of your former students since they left Long Beach City College? Like, have they started their own bands, or they got involved in anything related to?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of our former students are in the community just working. So a couple of them, like my former student Jazzy, she's in a trio called She Sings, She Swings. They just gig primarily. One of my former majors named Luca, he tours about half the year with, have you heard of Postmodern Jukebox?
I've sounds familiar.
He's like the house guitarist for all the touring shows, basically. And then my other student, Brandon, I'm a saxophonist, he's one of my saxophone players, so I have to mention him. He went from here to Cal State Long Beach. He's doing really well. All he does is 100% music stuff, cobbling together lessons, gigs, and just recently got a job at the Disneyland band.
Oh, that's even great.
Yeah.
Performing at Disneyland theme parks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's like, for a musician, it's kind of like a, you know.
The big times?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it the big times, but I would call it like it's an awesome thing to have because it's playing like 100% a playing job, and it's very regular work, which never really like teeters, which gigs come and go, but that's like always going on.
That's very awesome, Pat, so much. And I'm really glad that the jazz program is actually out there doing at different locations. And I know you got to get going, but I do want to say thank you for stopping by. I won't keep you long, but I appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely.
And again, if you guys have nothing to do, you can come here tonight and check us out. Also on Anaheim and PCH, the jazz will be there. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we'll be back right after this.
All right. Thank you.
Erica, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and the department.
Sure. So I am a work study student in the art gallery as well as a student. Right now I'm taking painting, oil painting, and I'm also a part of the Club de Art. And so Club de Art pretty much facilitates the outings and the fundraising and the community outreach, and pretty much pulling together all the artists in the department who want to kind of do stuff a little bit outside of the classroom. Even though we spend a lot of hours doing art, we also need to come together. That's not a project for school and like create and work on our own personal art. There's a lot of students in the program who do outside art as well, and they are looking to further their knowledge about how to move past just doing art, but actually selling it or teaching it or figuring out other ways to enhance their art experience. So Club de Art is pretty much set up for that reason, to be able to connect artists that are on campus with artists who are off campus. So the faculty pulls together different artists that are in the community and helps expose them to our students, so they understand what is it after this, like what do we do after we've been in school. And the department's really good about finding local artists who are contributing to the city and the community, so that's a perk. You don't really get that any other place, so this is the perfect place to be able to experience that, ask questions, do different workshops with the artists. We're really big about that. We also do field trips. We've gone to MOLA, we've gone to the Hammer. We try to bring the students out of the school setting and kind of expose them to professional artists. Let's see. What else?
It feels like a middle school, like where we used to take field trips to like aquariums and museums. You mentioned about the club art. You joined last semester, you said?
I did. I joined last semester. It was a fall term, and I took a watercoloring class with Carolyn Casano, and I was just really, really blown away about my the abilities that I had that I didn't know I had as an artist. My background is early childhood education. And I know that art is a big part of children's development, so I really wanted to learn the basics and like enhance my ability as a teacher. So so yeah, I joined last fall.
And it's been fun for you. What can you explain how did it encourage you to actually join? Like was there like an event that you went that said, you know, I want to join, I want to be part of this?
I think that I just realized, I knew previously I had been a student here in 2018 before we went off of campus.
Yes.
I actually was the president of the Early Childhood Development Club, and understood that there's power in joining clubs and you really get a lot of exposure that way. So I decided to join, and I felt like as an artist myself that this is, again, only going to help me and expose me to other artists, so that's why I joined.
What is one of the best things that being part of the club so far? Like, do you have like a best memory that's happened so far in a year? Yeah,
so currently right now we just started doing a pop-up at Fourth Fridays, which is the 4th Street in Long Beach. It's the Art City Council. They put on an event every 4th Fridays. I have a pop-up that I do for small children, an art pop-up that's right across from Club de Art. So we now have a space to be able to pretty much showcase what we do and sell our art and just talk about what it is to be an artist in the community. So I think that that's the most exciting right now, is we just started last month, and because the term is over in June, we have May to pop up on the 4th Friday. So we're looking forward to that and kind of gearing up what activity we're going to do. We'd like to do interactive activities to bring the community in and just tell them about our program, what we're doing, and offer. We are accepting donations all the time, so I think that's the most. I'm looking forward to a field trip too. I know we're going to do one at the end of the term, so I'm excited to see where we're going to be able to go. But I think the most exciting thing right now is being able to have a space in the community in the art district to be able to promote our club.
Now, for our viewers that are not familiar with the Pop-Up Fridays that's going on 4th Street, can you give like information more about like what time does it start?
Sure.
You know.
So 4th Street on Fridays usually has a theme every month. They cover some type of topic, either it's Women's Month or Black History Month. And so we kind of gear the activity around that so we can kind of all be in sync. Fourth Fridays is every fourth Friday of the month. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. It's a free family event. There are vendors and there's also artists in the community who come out and showcase their art. There's DJs, live performances, and it's just a great turnout every single time. I've been doing it for the past 4 years. And so I'm happy to now be doing it with the Club de Art and exposing the community to that.
That's really amazing. And is there any plans for the upcoming summer season?
I don't know if the club will get together during the summer. That's something we should talk about at our next meeting and figure out how can we still be involved and leading into the next term, which starts in August anyway. So, it's kind of right around the corner, but it'd be great to be able to start putting some seeds in the ground right now.
Now, earlier we let our audience have a sneak peek at the art gallery. Can you explain more about the art gallery that's going on inside in the building?
Sure. So currently right now, the art gallery is showcasing student artists. And so these artists have been selected or have had a desire to be in the art gallery. And different professors have said, okay, bring me a piece or bring me 2 or 3 pieces. And so over the course of last maybe 3 weeks, students have just been coming in, dropping off art, having their first experience of actually having the art showcase. So that's a really big deal.
Yes.
And there's so many moving pieces and parts that go along with that. It wouldn't be what it is right now, what you see, if it wasn't for the students, the faculty, for Carla, who is the art gallery manager, to be able to pull all of this together in such a short amount of time and make it as beautiful as it is. Let's see, and what else? There's everything from jewelry making to ceramics to 3D art. There's visual installations. There's all kinds of things that are happening right now in the gallery. And it's going to be open until June 3rd. So if anybody's in the community and is watching this right now, please come by and support the artists. What else? I think that's it as far as the gallery goes.
What are the times they can come check out the event?
So the gallery, today is the opening. The closing will be June 7th. It's from 4 to 7.
4 to 7?
The hours may fluctuate because it might have weekend hours that I would definitely look online and see what those hours are.
And that would be in our school website?
Yes.
Perfect. And what's I know we got a sneak peek earlier. What do you say as far as like the paintings? When you see the paintings, do you see like how creative the students and the painters have been? I mean, what's like the favorite thing of seeing these paintings on exhibit here?
I think as an art student myself, there's a lot of personality and personal just feelings that go into art, and a lot of times people are exposing themselves and they're showcasing things that are personal to them. So I appreciate that about the art. I definitely look deep into what is going on in the piece. Every piece is different. Every piece says something different. So for me, I feel like being able to see the students come in and they're nervous and they're like, oh no, and you're like, just do it, just do it. It's encouraging. It's uplifting for us to say, yes, you can, and keep doing it. Don't give up. So I think that's my biggest joy, is being able to see them feel successful. Like right now, a lot of them are walking in and their families are there and their brothers and sisters, and they're able to describe what they're doing here, and that's a big deal.
Would you say it's more like, it's like, this is me, this is this painting, this creation, this is a definition of myself? Would you agree that? Yeah,
a lot of times people are expressing what they're going through emotionally, and they can't really verbalize that, so they're able to put that through art. A lot of them are personal, and a lot of them are just global, and so you're able to see the difference. And if they're there, standing there, a lot of the students are there, they can explain where their thought process was, or was a creative process.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this question I have, it has to do with what's been going on. So we know we've had a lot of hectic times the last few years in our country. When you see students and artists create paintings or murals of like the event to show what's been going on, to show this type of bonding, getting together, coming together, what does that show that shows the students coming together with their creativeness? How does as an instructor you see that like a good thing?
Right. I feel like, the past couple years have been very hard for a lot of artists. There's a lot of isolation.
Yes.
And so, as an artist myself, I know that I had to do art to be able to keep going.
We had to do something.
It was a therapy. And so I feel like maybe other students are feeling the same way. As far as the faculty, I know a lot of them are on sabbatical and they use a lot of time to do amazing artwork. They just did a faculty showcase a month ago.
Oh.
So we were able to see what they were doing when they were on campus. And it was emotional. It was a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions that were displayed on those canvases. And so I think that for students coming back, there's still a little like, oh, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should. But the faculty is really encouraging. They're really supportive, and they're here to do what they're here to do, and as that just to inspire other artists to keep doing art.
Now, I had the last two guests that were up here, I asked the same question, and they gave me different answers, so I'll go ahead and ask this one. So, what do you do in the situation where a student just says, I don't know if I'm ready to come back to do this, that they're dealing with doubtness or whatever it is, either it's because of COVID or something else.
Right.
What would you tell a student if they come up to you and say, I don't know about what to do right now?
I work in the tutoring center as well, early childhood development tutor, and a lot of the students I tutor are online, and they want to come back. They are just apprehensive about it,
Yes.
and they're like, well, I don't know, I don't know if I could do hybrid classes, or I don't know if I could be around that many students that, and I suggest just taking it slow, everyone is adjusting
Yes.
to the new norm.
Yes, that's true.
And they're developing and growing, so I will try to be encouraging and just say, even if it's like, hey, don't come in here and take 12 units, start off with 3 or start off with 6 and move yourself up, because you want to be successful. And sometimes we have this misconception that we have to pile on a bunch right away, and then we end up dropping or we end up failing, and then we feel this like, I don't want to come back. So I feel that taking slower steps and being successful and grounded in those steps are what's going to help you be successful in school and in life later on, and those are life lessons. So as a tutor, we really try to inspire students to try their best and reach out to their professors and speak to them, reach out to counseling and all the different services that we have on campus, because we're here and I feel like they don't get utilized enough. A lot of students say, oh, I didn't know we had that, or
Yes.
I didn't know that even exists. I just go to class and I sit there and I go home. So things like this help move, events like we're doing right now, help motivate, and I think inspire students to continue to keep coming.
Now let's go back to when you got the okay to come back in person. So it's been a while. You had to do it through Zoom. Almost everyone had to get adjusted to it. Some did like it, some didn't.
Right.
What was your first thought when you got the clearance to say, okay, they told you to, okay, it's time to come back to in-person learning?
I was excited, honestly. Like, I'm not a online learner. It's just not for me.
It's okay for a while, but not when it's like a long period of time,
not
right?
years. So, I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to be back on campus. I'm ready to be back in the office. I'm ready to, meet face to face with students and have that that bond, and that camaraderie of like, we're doing this, we're getting through. I have 4 more classes left for my program, so I'm just chugging along, but I'm telling them like, hey, I've been doing this a while. I started in 2018 and here we are. Don't rush, and it's good to be able to know yourself and know what kind of learner you are, and this is the place to do it. So it definitely was a challenge, and I feel like I was happy, I was excited to be able to be back here.
I mean, for me, it was the same thing. I just got tired of standing in line just to go into the stores, because they had to have the 6 feet,
right.
the limited, the capacity limit, and then one thing I missed was going to my favorite restaurant. It's like I had to order takeout. I just got tired of doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's actually good to see students come back. But do you still feel like there's still like more challenges ahead to where we can all say, it's completely back to that new normal?
Yeah, I feel like definitely when I started in 2018, there was a lot more momentum on campus. It still feels kind of desolate and empty in spots.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's just a lack of enrollment. A lot of students are figuring out like, oh, I'm just going to stay online. It's easier. Or I'm going to try to do hybrid, and I don't have to be on campus. But I feel like the culture of community college is community, and
Yes.
you know, it's important for us to be able to be around each other and learn from each other. I remember a time like in the spring where the grass was just filled with like volleyballs,
Buddies.
and you know, there was just stuff going on, barbecues, and so I miss that, and I really look forward to that coming back.
Yeah, hopefully in the summer we get to see that, like you say. I mean, I remember I used to come to campus, like it was hard to get parking at first. Right now it's a little simple because, like you said, there's not that many people on campus,
Yeah.
so it's just like, yeah, it feels like a ghost town sometimes, you know, and it's like, wow, like what happened to it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But having an event like today with the gallery and then other events going on, how do you see as a turnout, you know? Do you feel like it was like it's being a success, more people coming out, or is it more like, you know, let's do another event and see how many more people we can come out to, like, you know?
Right. I feel like this was a success. The art gallery has had a good turnout. I don't know exactly the numbers, but it's been moving. It's been a moving piece. I'm also a student with the dance department, and I went to the spring concert, and it was packed, and we had a DJ, and it was nice. So I feel like the arts, again, are good momentums to get people out, and I think that the more we do them, the more we're going to have the community come out. We're going to have students realize that there are activities going on versus just going to class and going home and doing your homework. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next fall as far as enrollment. I know a lot of students are graduating from high school,
Yes.
so I would just hope and look forward to everyone who's been here, who's on, you know, the faculty, the staff, everybody coming together and really making it a big deal that they're here, so they stay.
You know, I always say, you know, if you can go to a sports event, because those are always sold out. If you can go to a sports event, then you can come to in-person learning. That's how I see it.
Yes.
You know, yeah, I do come in-person learning, and I do go to sporting events, so I'm kind of like getting used to that whole normality again. But I do want to say thanks for coming on.
Yes.
And again, the exhibit is here until June 2nd.
Yes.
Excuse me. And you said it's from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
And then for weekend events, you can log on to our website at lbcc.edu. Erica, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
You're right.
We're going to go ahead and go back to the art gallery as mentioned, and we're going to go ahead and show you those great paintings that we were talking about earlier. So we'll be back after this, but now we'll go to the art gallery.
Awesome.
Hello everybody, Jason Adair here again, back at it, interviewing some more amazing people today. I'm here with, introduce yourself please.
Yeah, my name is Manolo Montoya, and I'm the Vice President / Security of LBCC's Gaming Club.
That was my first question, but I'll switch it up now. How are you feeling today?
Oh man, so it's a beautiful day today. You know, it's like it was sunny earlier, but also like the rain made everything smell fresh. So, yeah, peak weather to me. So
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
So what are you here to do today at the LAC campus here at Long Beach City College?
So I'm here to spread news about the gaming club, and just spread news about the gaming club, and really just kind of have more people discover what gaming club is about, because like it's almost finals time and a lot of people are stressed. So man, I think personally a lot of people could use a little more fun and chill out personally.
Yeah. So what is the video game club all about?
So the video game club is an open space where any student can really like come through, be themselves. You know, we have a lot of people that have like several different talents. Like me, myself, you might not have guessed, but like I'm a rapper and an economic major. So it'd be kind of nice. Like the networking is kind of cool, but also you really just go to laugh, make jokes. We watch movies, play board games, and mainly video games as well. But just really to kind of find other people that also are interested in really having a good time.
So this question was bound to happen. Video game club, you got it. It's basic to ask. Favorite video game?
That's a tough one, and it's a tie between two games.
Okay.
And first one is Telltale's The Walking Dead.
Okay.
That game is such a masterpiece. One of the only games and one of the only pieces of fiction to ever make me cry. And the main characters of that game really just kind of played a good role as like a role model in my life, because I didn't really have a good role model in my life. So I kind of looked towards other like cartoons, anime. I looked towards religion to try to find a really good role model. And like help me like flourish into a like proper man. And
course.
I really feel like that's like both the main characters from that game are absolutely good at doing that. Then my second favorite game, the best storytelling game there will ever be, in my opinion, Detroit Become Human.
Okay.
And that game is just, man,
Okay.
insane.
That's some good picks. That's some good picks. I want to ask you more about your club to get a little bit more on topic. What's your favorite part about, I guess, inviting new people in, seeing the faces of, the enjoyment for other people that are video game lovers as well?
My favorite part is seeing people get used to the interaction, because a lot of people aren't really like used to the warmth that video game club has. Like, we're all like really friendly with each other. We're all like this, we hang out all the time, like not outside of school, play games with each other all the time and stuff like that. And it's really gone from like a friendship to a brotherhood type of thing. And I really just like seeing people go from, whoa, I'm not used to all this socializing. We're like, yeah, it's gaming club, So we like to socialize here a lot.
I like that. I feel like you guys are very welcoming. That's the perfect word for it.
We're pretty welcoming. Yeah. Most of our members are really welcoming, and some of the introverted more members are they're also pretty welcoming as well.
That's awesome, man. So if you could say it on camera, what has been your least favorite experience?
Oh, man. As the vice president / security, I'm like the sheriff, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm the one managing all the beef and everything. So my least favorite part is like stupid little arguments that happen, like you're a spammer, bro, like those types of things. So like that's my least favorite part of it, but because like sometimes the drama can kind of get to me, because like I'm a student too, I'm busy, I got a life, but that's the only part.
How long have you been? You're a student here at Long Beach City, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been going to this campus for?
So I joined last fall semester. Okay. So I'm still kind of a greenhorn, first year.
Yeah.
And ever since then, me and my buddies, we thought, let's make a video game club, let's make a space, let's have fun, because we're gonna goof off anyway, right? Might as well be allowed to goof off. So,
that's a perfect example. Yeah, I like that. So, assuming you play video games, most of your free time, how is that transition of, I guess, putting what you do on your free time to something productive?
Well, to make something productive out of your hobby, you really want to have to not only like plan, but you also want to be able to have a certain level of balance where you could enjoy your hobby, but also want to either make a career from it or either be comfortable enough to do it when you're not comfortable, if that makes any sense, right?
Of course.
Because I know a lot of people that have a passion, right? Like they kind of let the balance like kind of off tilt it, and then it feels more like a job to them, right? Because and as a musician and as a rapper myself, like when I'm writing lyrics, sometimes it can kind of get to feel like it's a job, but I kind of want to have the fun part balanced along with the work part as well. So whenever I do play video games in my spare time, I kind of want to balance it out with like the socializing part, because like playing video games alone is a completely different experience than playing with your friends. Like,
of course,
with your friends, it's kind of like all of you are on an adventure, but when you're alone, it's more of a pastime.
Yeah.
So like,
would you say I guess the transition of playing online with your friends compared to when you hang out with them in person, do you think that connection with the club is the same? Like, it doesn't matter if you're online, in person, the bond is still there regardless?
Yeah, the bond is still there, and even if it's online, it's not like as like hyped and energetic. It's still hyped and energetic, but nothing beats hanging out with your friends in real life. That's just human nature to want to hang out with your friends, just talk together, laugh, have fun. That's just human nature and instinct to want to be able to do. And online, it's pretty fun, but it's kind of like online school. I could compare it to that, right? Online schooling isn't as much of an experience as going in school in person to your classes. And the reason that is so is because the experience it's more like distance, Yeah. Like, it's still the experience, but it's not the full thing, It's like getting a 6-piece of nuggets instead of a 10-piece of nuggets, Like, if that makes any sense.
I'm used to that. Don't get me wrong.
Me too.
Come on, like I'm just in the pain.
Yeah.
So I asked about your favorite, I guess, experience and your least favorite, but I wanted to ask a video game. Worst video game you've ever put your hands on in your life?
Good question. Man, the worst video game I've ever played. Actually, I know you're gonna watch this, so I'm gonna say this for you. Overwatch, the worst game of all time. Mid.
Okay, I know that's gonna get you some heat if we have some watchers. I might clip this and put this on YouTube myself.
Go ahead. Virgil Lancey says Overwatch is good.
Before you wrap things up, I want to ask you, a more basic question to interviews. Who or what inspires you to do what you do today the most?
I didn't really have an inspiration, what motivates me to do this is just, I know some kids like are going through a lot of stress right now, like, because like, as I was saying, we're all adults at this point. We probably have jobs. We probably got things that we deal with at home, things that we deal with in the community, right? And social media right now, it's like having a bigger impact on society than ever. So like social media managing is also something else that a lot of people deal with, because their presence online is just as big as their presence in person, I'm guessing nowadays, because there's a lot of celebrities that are like online, and like in person they're like, oh wow, well you're more impressive online. But like so what really like motivates me to manage this is I'm looking out for those people that really don't kind of have the courage or the bravery to want to come forward and find more either like-minded people or same interest people, and just a lot of people that are kind of anxious to want to like move forward, finding new friends, let go, right? So I kind of wanted to take the first initiative and kind of ease other people into having a better experience at college.
That's awesome, man. Hey, no pun intended, but I really think you're going to change the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, talking to you today. It was an amazing time. Now we're going to transition to the auditorium here at the LAC campus, here at Long Beach City College for an audition for the play that they're auditioning for. Sorry. We'll be right back.
Right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Jason Adair once again, and before we wrap things up, I'm going to wrap things up with my big-time partner, Edward. Edward, how was your day today?
It was pretty awesome, I'll tell you that. You know, we got to interview a lot of great people, especially Erica, who's in charge of the art gallery. I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you, on your break, but I took a chance to walk around the neighborhood. I took a chance to walk around the campus, appreciate
well, it
the
does
art.
look like a neighborhood a little bit.
It feels like it, the welcoming people, the amazing campus, I got to witness the dancing performance, the art gallery. I even got to talk to some club members, thinking about joining something. But overall, amazing experience. What was your favorite experience about today?
Before I answer, I do want to say, yeah, we did get a lot of good welcomes, and I think we got a better welcome than the Chiefs did than when they came to LA last time. But it was everything looked cool. It's just good to see students out here again. It feels like things are starting to get back to normal a little bit.
Of course, man. That transition to online school to in person has been one hell of a ride. But I would say, as of right now, it's great to be back on campus. It's great to meet new people and get connections.
It's the first time I've been in the LAC campus in a long time. The last time we were here was the basketball game we called. I think that was back in January.
It was January, yeah. So what's been your least favorite experience about today? Was it maybe the waiting around? Was it the weather? You want to be a little bit warmer?
I think it was like the weather. Even during some of our interviews, it was like windy and stuff. It felt a little freezing a little bit. I thought winter was over. I thought we were supposed to be like in the spring and like the hot weather, and then this comes up.
Yeah, it started to get hot a little bit. I felt it, but
And the funny thing too,
SoCal is different.
I was doing my homework last night, and it was raining like around 10:30. I was like, we're not in Kansas City, we're in California.
All right, so I hope everyone else at home has enjoyed the art performance and as well as the art gallery. I've been Jason Adair, and this has been
Edward Rentasso.
I'm sure we'll be back sooner than later, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Have a great day.